let's dive into a topic that really sits at the very heart of spiritual cultivation: lineage and authority. What does it actually mean to have a divine mandate? And how do we find our way when it feels like so many people are claiming they hold the one true path? It can get confusing, right?
Greetings to all fellow seniors and cultivators. Our journey for a little bit of clarity begins not with some complex doctrine, but with a really simple question about connection.
So let's start with this idea of an unseen power source. We've got to understand our connection to the divine. Think about it like this. Just like any device needs a power source to work, our spiritual life is sustained by something we can't always see, but we can definitely feel.
Okay, so imagine a sacred lamp burning brightly in a temple. What's keeping it lit? It's not just how fancy the lamp is or the oil inside. I mean, those are parts of it, but they're not the ultimate source of its light. So what is it?
It's the connection, that continuous, invisible flow of energy. And you know what? This is the perfect metaphor for our spiritual life, because without that connection, even the most beautiful lamp is just a dark object. This idea is absolutely central to everything else we're going to talk about.
Now, this brings us to a really critical distinction, and honestly, it's a point of a lot of confusion in many traditions. We're talking about the heavenly mandate. So, what is it really?
I love this comparison because it just cuts right through the noise. On one hand, you've got the common myth, this idea that the mandate is a title, right? A rank in an organization, something you can claim. But the truth is something so much deeper. It's not external, it's internal. It's our innate divine nature. It's the responsibility that comes with having a soul. It's a virtue you have to live, not a title you can just hold.
And this isn't some new idea. The classic text that Zhongyang puts it perfectly. The heavenly mandate is our nature. That's it. It's that inherent goodness, that divine spark that's already inside each of us. So the real point here is anyone who acts in line with this true nature is, in fact, fulfilling the heavenly mandate.
So you might be thinking, okay, if the mandate isn't some organizational chart, then how do we follow it? How do we trace this lineage of truth? Well, the masters use this beautiful metaphor for it, the golden thread.
So, what's the golden thread? It's that direct connection we talked about with the lamp. It's not a physical chain of command. It's more like a spiritual current that flows from the ultimate source, directly to every sincere heart that's open to receiving it.
And let's get clear on what it is and what it isn't. The golden thread has no physical form. It's not owned by anyone. You can't put it in a building or an institution. You perceive it with an awakened heart, and you keep it strong by living a moral, virtuous life. And here's the best part. It connects all of us who are on a sincere path, makes us all one family under heaven, no matter what we call ourselves.
This leads us to a very, very practical question. If this thread is invisible and the mandate is internal, how do we get through a world that's just full of confusing claims? How do we recognize the truth for ourselves? How do we verify what the masters call the true mandate, the true lineage, and the true heart dharma?
This is the question on every seeker's mind, isn't it? A student named Wu Yuan actually asked the master this very same thing. You can just feel the anxiety in the question, can't you? With so many people saying we are the true way, it's so easy to feel lost or just afraid of making the wrong choice.
And the master's reply is just pure wisdom. It turns the whole problem on its head. Basically, the very act of loudly proclaiming your own authority might be a sign you've lost touch with the humility that the mandate actually requires. True authority doesn't need to shout about itself, it proves itself through virtuous action.
So, here's the bottom line, the most crucial point. We're not meant to follow a brand, or a label, or a person. We are meant to follow the truth, the Tao itself. And guess what? The tool you need to tell the difference is already inside you. It's your wisdom, your reason, your gut feeling that tells you if someone's words and actions actually line up with compassion and virtue.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. Let's talk about how this becomes real in our daily lives. How do we actually live this stuff? How do we embody our own heavenly mandate and hold on to that golden thread? It really comes down to these 5 simple-sounding but incredibly profound actions. First, act with a compassionate and forgiving heart. Second, uphold virtue in your daily life. Third, serve others, help them resolve their doubts, and share the clarity you've found. When you do that, you get to number 4, living with a clear conscience, free from guilt and fear. And finally, number 5,
You act without being attached to the results. You do good for its own sake, not for praise or reward. That is the work. That is how we live the mandate.
And that leads us to the most empowering takeaway of all. That golden thread, it isn't something out there that you have to find. It is not external. It's you. Your sincere, compassionate, and wise heart is the connection. As long as you nurture that, you can never, ever be lost. Gratitude for the grace of heaven and the virtues of the teachers. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.